All right, so how's everybody doing today? Thanks for joining us again for another Agent of Excellence episode in our office. And today we have Candace Soto with us. Candace, why don't you just kind of kick us off and give us a little background on who you are?
Okay, I'm Candace Soto. I was born and raised in North Carolina, about 2.5 hours southeast of here. Went to state for college and actually worked for a top producing agent in Cary as his assistant for a few years out of
Really?
college.
Okay.
I did. And I then moved to Florida for my now husband, and we got married and started our family. And then in 2019, life threw me a curveball. We moved to Germany for 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And we just moved back last July. We've been back from Germany.
So where in Germany were you?
We were in Dusseldorf.
Okay, haven't been there.
Yep. We were in a little village outside of Dusseldorf called Kaiserswerth.
Okay, so you learned some German?
No.
Enough to get
Enough
beer?
to get by. I could order a beer. I could order coffee.
Yeah.
Some bread, but yeah, I could not converse. It's a very hard language to learn.
It is, and I've spent some time in Germany, and I can do the basics. I can find my way around. All right, so you moved back from Germany back to the United States. You came here, moved to this area.
Mm-hmm. For my husband's work, he works
Okay.
out of Salisbury. We knew when we were house hunting, we looked in Huntersville, Concord, Harrisburg, and then our agent at the time told us about Lake Norman, and we just loved Lake Norman.
Okay.
And we were able to find a house that we loved, and it's been the best thing for our family.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what caused you to get into real estate?
Two main reasons, really. One, I had the experience working with the real estate agent. I learned so much from him. Shout out to Zach. He taught me so much, not just about real estate, but about life, about growing your business, how to treat people, how to have genuine relationships with people. I just learned so much from him. And then the second reason, probably the biggest reason, is my daughters. I have two girls that are 8 and 6, and I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. But
It's okay
I
if you
think I think as a parent, we all want positive role models for our children,
Sure.
and not just the ones on TV, the Elaine Welteroths or Coco Gauff or Simone Biles, like someone in their everyday life that they look at and they see power and strength and success and independence. And when I looked at myself about this time last year, I didn't see that. I had been a stay-at-home mom for 7.5 years, and I was a very good mom. I knew that, but I did not see someone who was independent or successful or powerful, and that was the kick I needed to bet on myself. And I signed up for real estate school, and I have not looked back.
That is awesome. I love that
Yeah.
story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been in real estate now how long?
Almost 6 months. It'll be
Okay.
6 months next week.
All right.
I've learned so much. And I'm happy with where I am, but I also know that I have goals that I've set for myself, and so there's no time to sit and relax and be happy with what I've done so far. It's time to keep going.
Well, tell us about your journey in terms of, you said there's a lot to learn, or you've learned a lot.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What was some of the first things you did as a new agent?
I shadowed an agent at open houses.
Okay.
I tried to learn as much as I could from podcasts and other agents online. I think diving in and just learning as you go is so important. So as soon as I shadowed, I started doing open houses multiple times. And at first it's very scary, but like everything, once you practice, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, and the more confident you will be doing those things. And I think that helped so much.
Was there ever a fear, like if somebody walked in the door at an open house and they asked you a question that you wouldn't be able to answer the question?
I think you have that nervousness, like, oh gosh, what am I gonna say? But if there was something I couldn't answer, I was always like, you know what, that is a really great question. Let me get your information so I can answer that for you.
That is a great professional way to handle that, by the way. Congrats on doing that.
Because I was new, and I didn't want that to resonate onto other people.
Sure.
And so I just wanted to seem professional and be like, you know what, that's a really great question. I'm gonna write down your information so I can get that to you.
Yep.
Because yeah, I mean, when you're new, you have this limiting belief that no one's going to work with you because you're new.
Because you're new.
And you have to find a way around that. And Bold has been really good with that.
Good. We're going to get to Bold
Yeah.
in a minute
It
because
has
I know
been-
that's a game changer.
Yes, Tammy has taught me a lot about my limiting beliefs.
Yeah, it really is one of the cool things about Bold that comes out of it. It just because so much of our journey and our success in real estate resides right up here, and how we
Absolutely.
think, just how we think about everything, and yet sometimes how we think about things is based on a limited amount of knowledge. So we have to always be gaining knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. All right, so here you're doing open houses as first activity. You're getting some. Well, what's happening out of that? What's happening doing the open houses?
I've had a lot of really great conversations, but I did find that with the open houses, a lot of people already had agents and they were just coming to look.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think something that's very important that I've learned already is reevaluating your business, not just annually, like constantly reevaluating. And I was like, you know what, right now this is not the time for me. Like, I'm not getting anything from it, so I need to reevaluate and find something that is going to work for me. And just staying top of mind, reaching out to people in my sphere of influence, because I don't have a big sphere of influence here, but I used to work at a real estate firm, and so there are a lot of agents that I know, and that was my first deal. And someone I used to work with sent
Yep.
me
A referral.
a referral.
Yep.
And they were investors who want to do more business, and so
Mhm.
it's just been the best thing. And so I've really dove into my sphere of influence and just getting my name out there and marketing myself.
Love that. All right. So are you starting to see a little bit that, there's a couple of different journeys you can take in real estate in terms of generating business. One is through like a prospecting activity, like doing an open house and getting in front of people you don't know. And at the same time, you have this, whether it's a limited size group or a larger group, you have the opportunity to get in front of the people you do know, which is giving you the quickest and best results so far.
Getting in front of the people I do know.
And were there any limiting beliefs about getting in front of that group of people?
No,
Good,
not at all.
good.
From my husband to my friends to other agents, like, they believe in me just like probably more than I believe in myself sometimes, and their confidence in me has made me, want to reach out more, want
Good.
to, like, they believe in me. I can do this. So
Well, and I think too, sometimes the environment we're in, because I can remember my first, starting out brand new in real estate, my first firm wasn't my best experience. My second firm was Keller Williams. And that was 22, 23 years ago. And I didn't appreciate at the time the learning opportunities that were even back then inside of KW. And of course, we've grown leaps and bounds in our training and all the stuff that we offer in terms of knowledge, right? Even just again around our mindset and how we think. And I fast forward to today, and I'm constantly still learning.
yes.
You have to, and as a leader, you have to. And I really fully believe that a lot of times agents should really kind of view themselves also as leaders, because you're leading somebody in the process of buying or selling a house. And leaders with plans and leaders with really a clear defined way to show people how they can get something done, that's how we win. That's how we influence.
And it's rewarding.
And it's rewarding
yeah,
as you successfully make it happen.
Yes, my second closing was first-time homebuyers who were so nervous, and I couldn't be nervous. I was
Right.
leading them through this, so I could not be nervous. And I just pulled from my experience working with another agent in my first deal, and it was a great experience for them. And they are so happy, and that's what matters.
And so that was probably just recently, right?
That was in August 12th. Yeah.
August 12th.
Yeah.
All right, so here you go. August 12th, they were your first closing? Second closing, but they were first time buyers. And they loved the experience they had with you. Have they started to share that experience with the people they know?
That I don't know. I have continued to stay in contact with them, and they are forever grateful. They sent me the sweetest message about how grateful they are and how happy they are in their home, and how it wouldn't have been possible without me. And that's what matters. I will send them another link to try and get a review. I know life is busy for them,
Sure,
you
yeah,
know,
you're
and they
moving
just
in
move,
and-
yeah. But I fully expect that they would refer me to other people, and they are in that time of life where probably a lot of their friends are
Going to
in
be.
the same place,
Mhm.
and I fully expect that they would refer me,
I
and that's
love that.
important.
I love that. All right, so here you go. You're on your journey. You've had a couple of closings. You're 6 months in. Now you've taken this program called Bold that we have here at Keller Williams. Let's talk about Bold for a minute. And already, just what are maybe the top couple of things that you've learned in Bold?
I think something that has stuck out to me is be careful what you say because you're listening.
Ah,
Like,
yeah,
do you know, I think
yeah.
I'm probably mixed those words up a little bit, but I feel like my biggest hurdle is myself.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to sit next to some of the agents at my table and listen to them and talk to them has been instrumental to being, and they are like, you can do this, like stick
Sure.
with it and stop telling yourself that you can't do things, or
Mhm.
don't tell yourself she's not going to pick you as her listing agent, because you know, you just show them your value. And I think that has just been the biggest thing, is trying to get over those hurdles. And Tammy is so good with taking, oh, you're a new agent, but my agent, like my firm is huge, and I have
Sure.
this marketing, and that is one of the reasons I picked Keller Williams, because
Yeah.
of the training, because of the support, and it's been, Bold has been so instrumental. I will say I was nervous about doing it because I don't like calling people.
Well, it was just even the perspective. You didn't know what you didn't know.
I
Take a
didn't
Bold,
know, but I'm so glad I stuck with it because it just mentally has been so helpful.
So going back to something you shared earlier, being that positive role model for your daughters, here you stepped out in your very much uncomfortable zone of your life, area of your life, and you did this.
I did.
And you did it for, I know you did it for you, but I think there was probably something underlying. You were really kind of demonstrating what that looks like, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and you know, we tell our children, like, you signed up for basketball, or you signed up for this.
You
You've
see
gotta
it all the way through.
You've gotta see it all the way through. There's no quitting.
Yeah.
I have to take my own advice. I have to do the same thing. And I'm so glad I did. And they are too. When they finish their basketball season, they're happy too.
So out of outside of the mindset lessons you've already learned in Bold, what else have you gained so far?
I think
Have you grown your database at all or anything?
I have grown my database. I have, during Bold, I have really focused on trying to find agent partners across
Love that.
the U.S. And I have gotten, I think, maybe 15 agent
Very nice.
connections. What I did is I created an agent questionnaire, and I just reached out to people. If you would like to be, I'm trying to grow my database. If you would like to be a trusted real estate partner for me,
Mhm.
answer this questionnaire. And that questionnaire has their birthday, the areas that they cover. And so I'm constantly reaching out to these people because I reach out to them for their birthdays, or trying every quarter to reach out to see how's the market shifted for you. Are you seeing longer days on the market? Just staying in contact.
Yeah.
And I know if I stay in contact with them, that eventually the business will come.
Yep. Years ago, I was part of with my coach at the time. He had a group of us, there were 15, and he had us each paired up, and 15 of us were in different parts of the country. So every day we had a different script and role play partner in a different part of the country, and it was really cool to have that back then, because you did get to experience the different markets, but it was also around the time when we were going into an economic, calamity, if you will, in 2008. So it was really interesting to sort of see the wave of change in the market happening further west and moving east. So I got a little bit of a head start on the role plays and the conversations that they were having, and it was better preparing me for the market that was coming our way very
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah. I also reached out to, because I feel like social media can be a really powerful thing these
Mhm,
days,
mhm.
because our generation and the younger generations are very social media heavy.
Yep.
And so I reached out to a Keller Williams agent in Ohio, who has been very successful on social media. And I actually had a 30-minute call with her yesterday talking about not just my business, but social media. And the reasons we love KW, and it was great to hear her perspective because she's about 4 years ahead of me as an agent, and I think that is interviewing, talking to people that are 4 years, 10 years ahead of you. I think that's really important.
Yeah, right. Well, and if you want to model something, if you want to learn, go follow somebody of what they've been doing consistently. And they're, while, you probably see their results, they'll probably share the things that didn't work so well right out of the gate. I know that's something I've done in my journey when I'm, coaching or leading or consulting with agents. It's like, I'm probably more apt to share my mistakes, because if it helps you cut a corner and save you time or money or aggravation, that's to me is a win as well.
Yes.
So.
And I talked to her about open houses and how I haven't really had a return on investment for them. And she's like, yes and no. Like, she immediately was like, listen, you've got to look at it differently. She's like, think about the ones you've done. When were the successful ones? When were the not so successful ones? And she's like, your success has come the same time mine has. She's like, that winter, early spring is when you should be heavy on it. And just hearing her perspective and her experience was...
Somebody switched my perspective, probably my first coach. He kind of changed my perspective on doing open houses, because I was of the belief, I don't want to sit there on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon and hear all the excuses as to why, somebody doesn't want to fill out a sheet or whatever.
Right.
He goes, well, stop chasing buyers. Do your open houses to find sellers. When he taught me that, at first I'm like, what? I mean, you do an open house because buyers are walking in the door. He goes, are they? Or are they sellers? Are they neighbors who are curious because they're thinking about putting their house on the market? Are they maybe buyers but have to sell before they can buy, and they're just trying to figure out what's going on? He goes, if you change your mindset that you're going to do an open house to get in front of sellers, you'll have an entirely different perspective. And I did. And it also changed the activities I did to prepare for that open house. So it wasn't just put a sign, on the corner. I knocked on that house that's sitting on the corner and said, can I have permission to put the sign because, we want this open house to be successful? That was a contact and asking.
Yes.
And by the way, I'll be over at, it ends at 4. I'll grab the sign on my way out. If I forget, please call me, blah, blah, blah. And it was that interaction I had. And it was amazing because that built my database, and it got me in front of, I got more contacts and people in that neighborhood, and it changed everything.
She sort of said the same thing. She's like, look at your open house as a way to meet the neighbors. She's like, don't just focus on the day of. Go a couple days before. Invite those people to come see the place, and then talk to them about where they are, what they want to do, what goals they have. She said to look at it as a way to get sellers.
I even took it a step where I would invite the immediate neighbors to a pre-open house open house. So if the open house was 1 to 3, let's say,
right,
I'd invite them from 12:30 to 1, so they weren't part of the masses. They were welcome to come and walk through because I was there preparing anyways.
Right.
And sometimes that did a couple of different things. First of all, it was that opportunity to invite and get to know, but it was also the opportunity where somebody's going to come to the open house at 1 o'clock, and all of a sudden they see people walking out the door. They're like, oh my God, this house is in demand, right? So it did, and back then in a market where you were happy if you had 4 or 5 people coming through, any trick you could do mattered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I love that. All right, so here we go. Second 6 months of your first year in business. What do you want to see happen? What do you think is going to happen? What are you intentionally going to make happen?
I sort of set short-term, long-term goals for myself, and for me, I said I wanted to have 5 closings by December, 10 by my anniversary date, so basically April 1st. So I have 3 more deals that I have to get done, which I think will. I have some people in my pipeline. Okay. And then long-term, my goal is to average 24 closings a year.
Okay.
And I think by doing that, it'll allow my husband and I to grow our real estate portfolio, which is important to us.
Yep. And
it will be the picture that I want my children to see when they look at me.
I love that. So thinking about that 24 units a year, When's the ideal time for you to hit that?
By year 2 was
By
my
the
goal.
end of year 2. So year 1, 10 deals done.
Yes.
By the end of year 2, 24.
I would say 20 to 24 is my goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
love that. What about years 3 through 5? Where do you head then?
I mean, I'm hoping I'm still doing, I'm going to be doing the same thing, if not growing to the point of needing like an assistant.
Okay.
And being able to leverage more time for my family, but still growing my business and my real estate portfolio.
Okay. So my philosophy has always been, and this is what I try to teach agents, we do operate a real estate business. Even if it's just us, right?
Mhm.
We operate a real estate business. True in any business, the profit of your business funds the life you really want. So what I'd like to do is, spend some more time with you, obviously outside of this. I want to teach you a model that will show you about the profitability number in your business so that you can start funneling that into maybe that portfolio that you want to start looking at. And then, by the way, it's time to start setting goals over there already. What does that start looking like? Because part of your own personal, building and creating your own personal real estate investment portfolio can be part of your transactions. Because what would it look like if you went into every listing appointment going, I'm going to go explore this as though it's an opportunity for me to buy it.
Right.
Not just for me to get the listing. What if I want to go buy this?
Right.
And you're walking in the door with a much different level of just knowledge, information, and confidence. That sound like a plan you would like to explore?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so let's fast forward 5 years. We're sitting here, we're having this conversation again. You've accomplished everything that you told me today you want to accomplish. How does that make you feel?
Proud.
Okay, how do you think your kids feel?
Proud. Because I'm thinking in 5 years, I'm gonna have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they are gonna be at that age, because now they don't really understand the success part of it and how big of a deal this is. But at 13 and 11, I think they would, and I think they'd be proud.
Okay. Is there anything you want specifically for them at that age? That if you when you accomplish this, you're going to be able to provide them with?
Well, something that we love to do is travel, and that was really sparked when we lived in Germany, and I think it's important to continue that love of traveling, because we traveled so much when we were there. And it's important to them, I think, to see the rest of the world, see other things, see how other people live. And we got to do that in Germany, but we haven't done it so much here. And so for me, it's important that we continue to show them the rest of the world.
So my advice would be, set that big trip a year, plan it, like really plan it, explain it to the kids, put it on the fridge. And that way those times when maybe you are in the middle of work and you've got to excuse myself from the family at the moment to take care of work, they know why you're doing it.
It's a really great idea.
They see
Yes.
it. I've done this with agents before. I want to take my kids to Disney. They understand Disney on the fridge, right? If mom or dad gets to go do this, I get that. I get to have that experience.
And we've tried to explain that to them, because they don't we take them with us when we go look at rental properties, potential rental properties, and they're like, oh, we don't want to go see another house.
But if you
And I said to them, if we're able to build this real estate portfolio, we're going to be able to go on more vacations. We're going to be able to do so many other things, and we're creating a life for you that you don't even realize.
Right. And you're right. It is hard at the younger ages.
Yes. Yep.
But it's amazing though how kids think even at the younger ages. And if you can kind of connect them and get them involved that way, and they know what the outcome is, you'd be surprised how on board they are.
Yeah, I think my oldest is starting to get it a little bit, but my youngest, she's 6, so she doesn't quite understand, other than mommy has to work.
Yeah, right. Well, now she'll know why mommy has to
Right,
work.
that's a really good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Is there anything I can help you with right now?
I think just in general, everybody here has been so supportive, and I think that is so important for a new agent. Not just the command and the marketing, things like that. I think it's so important for any new agent to find a place where they feel welcome and they feel supported. And I feel like Keller Williams Lake Norman has been that for me. I only interviewed one place, and it was here.
Well, I'm glad you
And
picked
I
this
think it
one.
was maybe 2 days after I got my license. And I have not looked back. I have not regretted it one bit because it feels like a family here.
I love that. I
And
love
it's
that.
so needed as a new agent.
Well, and you know, again, we're happy you're here. We're very, very happy to be in business with you, and we want to be on the journey with you so that you can go build that life by design, so you can have what you want and model out for your girls what's so important.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate the time today, Candace.
Yeah,
Thank you.